So the players are ready. And this is a winners round 2 game between, on the left, Declan Brennan, and on the right, Scott Gillespie. And I'm joined on commentary for the first time this week by Matt Briley. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, not too bad, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks. Just sat and watched the match between Carl Morris and Stefan Rosidi, which was a really great game. Had just about everything, really. I don't know how we can top that one. So hopefully we can. Declan.
Seem to.
You're okay. Sorry, I thought we lost you for a second. Wow. I was just saying to Matt seconds ago that Jordan Shepherd is 9-2 up. Like literally about 45 seconds ago. I've looked back at my phone and it's 11-2.
Crazy result, that, isn't it? He's just not missing, is he, this weekend?
No. How's that happened? 11-2 in literally just like a minute. So yeah, we're hoping for more of the same. Declan Brennan won the lag and is at the table, and I got to say he's been phenomenal this weekend so far. Played a late night match against John McAllister last night. That was the last game running, about 1:30 in the morning, was it? Something like that?
It was, yeah. Yeah, I caught the end of that one.
Managed to get himself across the line. And he's having a good tournament. And someone else who's having a good tournament on the right-hand side is Scott Gillespie, proving that his win in the first event wasn't a fluke. He's here deep again. This is a great matchup, and I think this is a really good choice for the main arena as well. We've never seen Declan on the main arena yet, and the only pool I've seen from him really is his money match against Seb Webb, which I was really impressed over the way he played. Really professional, conducted himself well, and he's got a really nice cue action.
Yeah, he goes about him well, doesn't he? Very solid, doesn't look like he's going to miss, seems to do everything, just about right. It was a good game last night against John McAllister, and he took a nice finish off the break in the decider. A bit of pressure on everybody round the table watching, obviously. Everybody interested who've all got bets on them, what have you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Of course, we saw you on the main arena table earlier. What a game that was against Ronan McCarthy.
Yeah, good game to be involved in. Shame I came out the loser on that one.
Hill game, and well, to be fair, well, I mean, you couldn't do much. You broke dry in the last, didn't you? And Ronan made a really nice clearance.
Yeah.
But it was a game of breaks for you at the end, wasn't it?
It was. I had so many either dry or enough.
Yeah.
I had a spell sort of middle of the match where I wet enough 4 times in a row and then dry broke. And I'm like, oh, it's like, I think I maybe needed to take a little bit off the break and just control the white a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that's where I made the mistake, really.
And Ronan said in the interview afterwards that it was almost a disadvantage to have the break because, I mean, even with him, he was just leaving a cluster of 4 balls on top of the rack every time, wasn't he? They weren't splitting well for him.
I think the key thing for him was that he wasn't going enough, because when you're going off at these rules, it's pretty much game over. And I think all the 4 where I went enough, we might as well just rat them up. He took all of them.
Yeah.
Bit of a surprising miss there from Gillespie. He played a nice shot early on to open it up, and then you kind of fancy him to run away with it then, don't you?
Yeah.
Did you see the clearance he did last night against Hibbert?
No, I didn't know.
It was on Facebook. It's a ridiculous clearance. Best clearance I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's only a 2-ball clearance, but it's literally the best.
Oh,
clearance
no.
I've ever seen.
Yes, I did see it. I saw it. It was late last night. It was so late, I'd forgotten I'd seen it. Yes.
Yeah.
He's he's played a length of the table double, and then there's a red and a yellow over the top corner.
The black in his last ball.
Oh, sorry, black in his last ball, yeah. And he's played it to pot it, and then kind of like double kissed the red in, played it a skill shot.
Like a screw back skill shot. I've never seen anybody play a skill shot that close together before. I didn't even realise you could. It was a ridiculous shot.
See, when I saw him play that shot, I would have thought you need to play it with top, because obviously when the black, when the red connects with the black goes down, the red's going to bounce backwards. And you'd think you need top on the white to then
push it forward,
push
it through.
Like double kiss it back in.
Yeah.
But he's played it with screw, and somehow it's gone in. I don't know.
Yeah, just the sheer force of it and how well he sort of connected with it has done it. I think, you could try that shot, well, like I said, 10 times, but probably 50 times, to be honest, and you'd struggle to do that. It's a fantastic shot.
So a double. He's going to have to punch this one to straighten it up slightly. Plays it well.
Yeah, the way he cues a ball, you do fancy him for this down the rail, though.
Yeah.
Got a power rating a little bit, but he's playing quick this table. So.
Yeah, again, it's another one he needs to punch, cue well. Oh, wow. That's sublime. And then, of course, just going back to you've come across an informed Paul Riley. Paul seems to mean business this weekend. He beat Cole Bedford 8-0, and then he won 8-4, and then he won another 8-0. And when I saw you against him, I thought, hang on a minute, that guy's flying. So
yeah, he's certainly in form at the minute. It's to be honest, the match didn't necessarily go that way. We both it's a little bit scrappy early on. I managed to get a 3-1 lead. And then he pulled out a massive fluke on his last ball.
Oh, no.
He's gone for the ball into the middle and caught the jar, and it's gone straight up the rail and gone in top bag and left him plumb on black. And it just seemed to change a little bit. And they pulled out a few dishes off the break straight after that, and that was a bit of a killer. But yeah, he's doing well.
So, first blood to Declan Brennan. And another quick look at the other scores. So Sean Story's 7-4 up against Dave Fernandez. Dave's been playing really well. Look at this for a scoreline. And I have to say, I did call this. Shane Thompson 8, Mark Farnsworth 3. I fancy Shane for that for some reason. But then again, I'll also admit that I fancied Mike King against Ronan McCarthy, and he's 5-1 down. So, I can't claim too much credit for that.
Oh, 5-2. Just gone 5-2 now, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about it. Yeah, I've actually got Shane Thompson in one of our bets, but I didn't put it on. And he went for the outsides. He went for Shane, and he went for Josh Kane against Mick.
Yeah.
And Josh is 8-3 up.
Yeah. Oh my! I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he's picked a couple of good ones there so far.
Shane Thompson now 9-3 up. Yeah. Tom Cousins 9-3 up also against Mark Fleming. Mark Ball 7-4 against John Rowe. As we just mentioned, Josh Kane. I knew that Mick Hill would have a game on his hands against young Josh Kane. Josh Kane is 8-3 up against Mick Hill. That's incredible. Not forgetting that this is winners qualification, so the losers will drop into losers qualification tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So they will only have to come back in and play one more match.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world.
Well, the bet that I put on myself's not looking too bad at the minute. I've got Ronan McCarthy, who's 5-2 up. Cousins 9-3 up. Boyle 7-4 up. Jordan 1-11-2. And then I've actually gone for this game. I've gone for Gillespie. So
wow,
it could all come down to that one, I think.
Yeah, that's a good bet.
Just went a little bit more angle there. I think that he wants to go on across to the right hand side, break that red out, and if he manages it, they're all there. Oh, he's played that well.
you want to watch that game between Josh Kane and Mick Hiltz across on one of the other stream tables, table 3, I believe. So the only real problem here is the red at the top of the table, where the yellows are. It's getting back out, and it's getting the cue ball back out. So I think he's looked at the angle already and feels that. Pretty sure he's left it dead straight. He can just screw straight back out.
Yeah, that'll just leave yourself a long black, maybe.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to, isn't he? Yeah, I think he's going to have to take his medicine, unless he feels he can find that gap behind the yellows, but I don't think he will be. No, and he's just looking now. He's just going to play one rail, leave himself in bulk, and leave the long black. Backs himself to get it.
Yeah, the way he pots the ball, I don't think he's too worried about it.
No. And I always look at these shots, and you know that these are the longer shots, but you know, if you put this on a snooker table, it would be a black off the spot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Basically. Oh my gosh.
Well, certainly didn't expect that.
No. Absolutely not. Just after we bigged him up for the shot as well.
Scott's got a very easy snooker here, but with the way that he plays the game, I'm not sure whether he'll necessarily go for it or not.
No, I don't think he's got
very
that in his
attacking.
repertoire, has he?
Exactly.
Farnsworth pulled one back and 9-4. Dave Fernandez has pulled one back against Sean Story, 7-5. Mark Balls pulled another one away, 8 frames to 4. Tom Cousins has pulled another away. He's 10-3 up against Mark Fleming. He's got to be said, an informed Mark Fleming as well. He's been playing really well this weekend, so 10-3 from Tom Cousins. Who's going to stop Tom Cousins in this event? Mick Hill's pulled a frame back against Josh Kane. He's always going to be a feature in that match until that last black has been sunk.
Yeah, Cousins is flying since that first match. He had that bit of a scare in the first round against Matt Schofield.
Yeah, Hill, wasn't it?
It was a match that they cleared up. He was clearing up. Tom had a chance, missed it, and Matt was dishing up, and they were all there, and there was just a ball that had to drop into the middle. He could have played it as a big bag. There was a big bag there for it, but he just tried putting it normal, just to get perfect on the ball he was playing for, and missed it, jarred it, and that was that. Yeah, he literally couldn't miss if he played it as a big bag.
Declan trying to screw the right hand side into the top rail, and then banana back around to hit the black, but the side just didn't take.
Yeah, he just kind of hit it hard rather than merely sort of cueing it.
Yeah. It's one of those you dig right down. Oh no.
That's not the best of shots.
No, that's a little bit careless as well. Just need to hit that one a little bit, well, either thicker or thinner, just to make sure the yellow comes away from the rail.
I thought rather than trying to play it down towards the pocket, it would have actually hit the rail first, so that then the ball he was hitting would have gone towards the bottom right, and the other ball would have just come off the rail. Still back himself to take these, though.
Yeah. And I like watching Scott Gillespie's still a young man, fast turning himself into certainly one of the best players north of the border, and one of the best players in this event as well.
Yeah, which is saying something considering the standard in this event.
Yeah.
He's had a nice little touch there. Well, one good screw back shot here and that'll be 1-all.
Wow.
Oh.
Just a touch. And so it's Scott Gillespie, 32 years old, and nicknamed Goobsy. His sponsor we met at event 2. Came over to do some commentary, Mark Johnson. He's engaged to Melanie, and he uses a Craftsman cue with a Elk Master 9.2 tip. Of course, listed in his accolades, he was the first winner of the PPPO Apprentice Tournament, World Under-21 Champion, European Under-21 runner-up, Jersey Open winner, Nations Cup singles winner, Scottish National Champion, multiple Scottish ranking events. Of course, won the IPA event as well, and quite recently represented Scotland with Jason Shaw in the was it the World Cup of Pool, playing 9-ball?
Yeah, I think it was. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
played on Sky Sports.
Yep.
That's quite some accolade when you see the talent they've got up there, that Jason chooses Scott Gillespie to play with him in 9-ball. And started playing, he was a keen snooker player, and at the age of 17 he started playing pool, as he didn't think he could make the grade at snooker at a professional level. Greatest influence is his dad, who was a keen pool player back in his day. And when he started playing pool, his favourite player was Derek Murphy, as he made the game look so easy, very tough to beat, and a gentleman. And also one of his best mates, Paul McCutcheon, as he's one of the most flamboyant players he's ever seen. And more recently, Mick Hill, as he's the GOAT. He's already happy with what he's achieved, but he would love to add a world title. And quite an interesting story. Until about 5 years ago, he couldn't play a ball with side. So he used to play everything plain ball.
Must be a snooker player's thing, that.
Yeah.
'Cause, one of my mates, he was a regular century break snooker player, and he asked me how to play with side. You're knocking centuries for fun, how can you not know?
He's also a decent golfer. Plays off a very low handicap, I think. Not a game for me. I did try. I had a go at it for a couple of years, and I thought it was time to give up when the captain of the ladies came to me in the clubhouse afterwards and said, "I've never heard such disgusting language on a golf course, and I've never seen anybody pick up their ball and throw it into the middle of the fairway." I had a bit of a paddy that day.
Is that not the done thing?
No, it's all about etiquette. And I was having a bad day and just lost the plot, and she was there to witness it. She wasn't very happy. So Declan Brennan, he's at the table. He's 25 years old, and he doesn't have a nickname. Well, we're going to have to christen him today, aren't we, surely? We're going to have to think of something. Decky. Call him Decky, Paul says. That's original. Good thinking that, Paul. Well done. So, there you go, chat box. There's a challenge for you. He needs a nickname. See what you can come up with, and if he wins during the winner's interview, I'll suggest a few to him. He uses a Burroughs and Watch Eureka Q with an Elkmaster 8.5mm tip. Started playing some local league when he was younger, and then started playing in the Regal Club in Portadown. Well, it's kind of gone on from there. His greatest influence is his dad. As his dad also had a great interest in Q Sports. Favourite pool player, Ronan McCarthy, as he's a good friend, and he makes the game look so simple with his cue ball control. And when asked what he'd still like to achieve, he said just to enjoy the game and improve. And again, any other talents outside of pool, and he's again a decent golfer. So maybe these two can, you know, have a double of quits on the golf course tomorrow morning. Sounds like they're both pretty handy. So, what's the plan here? He's going to have to play this one.
Maybe he's looking at the cross double maybe, and take the black into the middle. If not, he's going to have to put
He's going to have to load it.
Upside on that one.
Load it with all kinds of check side.
It looks like that's the way he's going, all
is,
other side. Oh, what a shot.
That's a great shot. That is a great shot.
It really is. Because that looked thin, really, that didn't it?
Really did.
Yeah,
and
like
he's made that look. He's made that look pretty easy for the cameras, but I can tell you now that was a really tough shot. Superb. Oh no! Oh no!
I think it was very tight. I think if anything, I think he might have needed a bit of left on it just to kind of flick it.
Just to push it.
Oh, I'd be disappointed because he played a great shot to get where he got. Do you think Gillespie can maybe pot this ball it's closest to, check it down, and then use the one on the bottom left and not the other one off the rail?
Yep. Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's going to be doing. And you see the check side take, and he just finishes low with the perfect angle. I mean, he can play this however he wants to. He's absolutely guaranteed to be on a ball. Perfect. Would like to take the one just below the middle bag and then work his way up if he can. If he feels the angle's a bit too acute, he can come back to that one in a minute. Indeed, that's what he's going to do. So he's left a nice angle now.
Nice Mikkel's on a bit of a comeback there. He is 8-6 now from, was it 8-3? You just never write him off, can you?
No. Yeah, it was 8-3. Well, couple of comebacks on. Dave Fernandez on the comeback trail against Sean Story, now 7-6. Mark Farnsworth coming back against Shane Thompson, 9-5. That was 9-3. Ronan McCarthy now 6-2 against Mike King. Mark Boyle still 9-4 against John Rowe. Oh, Mick Hill now 8-7.
I think he's just gone favourite from being 8-3 down.
It is Josh Kane's break though in the 16th frame. Just got the stream to my right hand side, so
He needs a big break. He's got a great break as Josh, and he needs it now.
he's crunched them. Oh, one of the last balls moving on the table has found its way to the pocket, but quite a lot of congestion on the table and not really an easy opener, so that game still very much in the balance. He's got a long yellow to bottom right corner, and if he can make it, then the table's open. So if you want to keep an eye on that game, it's table 3. It is on the stream. We will stay focused on table 16.
He'd like to have come just a little bit further there, Gillespie. I mean, you'd expect him to not have any troubles here. Nice and easy. He just got back up. He wasn't quite as straight as I think he would have liked to have done.
Nice. And Declan, I feel that he should have been 2-1 ahead there.
It could have been 3-0, really.
Could have been 3-0, yeah.
Chances.
Yeah.
Declan just coming back in now after just taking a moment there. No doubt clearing his mind a little bit after missing that black. Well, he certainly crunched those and he's got a ball down. Not the easiest of starts. He's certainly got a long yellow if nothing else. Bit of a tricky one. That's a nice ball to the middle, and just one more good shot here. Get into the same middle from the looks of it. And they'll be well underway with these yellows. Just having a bit of a look at the long ball there. Two that are middle of the table. Looks like it's very tight. What a fantastic pot. Looks for all intents and purposes like dropping it into the middle. It'd have to be a shot, but he's pulled out a fantastic pot there. Let's put him in prime position to take these out. Take a 3-1 lead. Should just be able to screw this one in off the side rail, and as long as he leaves a nice angle, then should be straightforward enough really to get back up for the last yellow into middle. Yep, and that'll be that one. 3-1. That's fantastic clearance.
I missed that one.
Yeah, he crunched the break as he tends to always do, really. Made a ball, but left himself up on the top right of the table. Really tricky position. He's pulled out a nice shot to the middle and then a fantastic shot to the bottom right-hand corner, which just put him into prime position for the clearance. It was a very tricky clearance, and he made it look easy, to be honest.
Mark Farnsworth, now 9-7.
9-7.
It was 9-3.
Some big comebacks.
The comebacks are on.
So Josh Kane was at the table in the background then on one of those shots. So he's 8-7, but at the table. I don't know whether he's still at the table or not.
No, that's a familiar.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the player, but I could see him dragging his cue. He tends to walk around and kind of drag his cue as he's chalking it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's on a clearance. He's got a couple of tricky balls at the top of the table, but looks like he's got a nice angle to get into them. So looking ominous for Josh Kane. From 8-3 ahead, he would. Well, you've got to keep your foot on the neck, haven't you? Tom Cousins has beaten Mark Fleming 11-3.
He's played a great shot there. Really thin chip into the middle, a little bit aside to flick it back and open up the two bad balls. And
that's going to be 8 each.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what we're talking about, we're just looking across at the Josh Kane-Mick Hill game, which has been streamed on table 3. Across on table 4, Mark Farnsworth versus Shane Thompson. Gareth Hibbett against Kyle O'Donoghue in another Hill game. 7 frames each. Paul Riley 7-6 on the hill against Adam Marlowe. Arf and Dad already through, and Craig Marsh is out of the tournament. Arf and Dad beats him 8-5. Toby Bolt beats Jez Graham 8-3. Craig Waddingham somehow is now on the hill against Greg Batten 7-5, when Greg Batten was 4-1 up and absolutely flying, not missing a ball. Sanjay Patel 5-4 against David McNamara. Carl Morris is 3-1 up against Dylan Leary, and Callum Singleton 2 frames each against Lee Clough. Those games were on the loser's side, and we're watching winners qualification.
Declan electing to go yellows here, and another great break. They're both really catching these breaks well.
I think he's probably tried to land on the one at the top of the the cluster there, isn't he? And just come a touch too far.
Yeah, as long as he positions it nice now and gets onto that one.
Yeah.
And he can have the one near the... Oh, well, he's screwing it across.
Should still be fine. I mean, he can just play a kind of soft screw shot now to stun up the table. And anywhere. Well, he just needs to be below the yellow. This side of the yellow, doesn't he? He doesn't want to be high on it.
Either way, he should be okay, shouldn't he?
And sure enough, if he's high, he can do something. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, they've been happy to see this chance. It was a very nice break. Just getting back on track after that mistake.
Mick Hill's broken at 8 each. He's made a ball. And a very makeable clearance.
Oh, what has he done? He's just
head in his hands.
The only place on the table that he didn't want to be pretty much. And
well, the thing is as well, the top left bag is a massive pocket with the red where it is. So you could have kind of left it anywhere below and taken it long.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought previously when he took those two near the bottom of the table. I thought he was going to take the one over the pocket, come up for the one near the reds, and then leave that one near the rail as second last ball so you could take that into the top pocket. Well, he's hit it and he's not left. He's got two easier starts here. Got a ball to the left middle. If he doesn't get it, they frame over. Oh, nice shot. I'm not used to seeing Scott play surface. Well, for sure, with how aggressive he is, he'd be looking at that one. Big frame, really, though, just to open up that 3-frame gap potentially. That's a nice pot. Left himself a double.
Well, he's looking at the big pocket for the treble, but surely the double's easier, isn't it?
He's missed that by quite a way.
Yeah. I mean, he was closer to the double than he was the treble, but
yeah, much as you'd like to play the big pocket on that one, I think I've always been looking at the double, really. I think Scott maybe seen he fouled there, maybe.
Sorry?
Maybe lent on for a ball or something. He certainly didn't look happy with that.
No, he didn't. He was just having a quick word with the referee. Maybe just asking the question. And this is going to be another frame that's got away. Declan's had decent chances in every frame.
Yeah, he certainly
well,
has.
apart from the previous one that Scott's broke dished.
Really fires him in at times, Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, he plays everything as a kind of punch shot.
Start calling him Goobs really rather than Scotch, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably don't like to be called Scott.
No.
Won't want to argue with him. He's a big lad, isn't he?
He is.
Got heavy contact then. Just wanted to run through another inch or two, and it just seems to just hold up a little bit. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it was absolute drop-in territory if it went through, it should.
It's good. He's hitting the ball really well.
Yeah. John Rose just having a little bit of a comeback against Mark Boyle there. He's got to 9-5 now. It's like Mick still 8 all, is he?
Well, he is, but he is still on this clearance, on the same clearance. And
It's been a long one, then.
it has. And he's got a tricky little finish, but what do you expect him to make?
Ronan McCarthy opened up an 8-3 lead there.
Oh, I just remembered I got Tom Cousins in the grabber group. Did you see that? Yeah, Dash on did a grabber group. So there's basically 16 groups, and so if you have group 1, you get player 1, 17. You know, every 16 in the in the draw.
Yeah.
And it was £200 for a group.
Yeah.
So 3,200 quid in the prize pool. I think it was like the winner gets 1,000, and it kind of breaks down to top 8, which I thought was quite a good idea. So you get 8 players. So in theory, you could, you could get 4 of the top 8.
Yeah.
You could get all 8.
Random. Yeah.
But
and you got Cousins.
Yeah, I got Cousins battling Ben Davis. So obviously,
Ben's out now, is he?
Ben's out. Yeah. Oh, well, and Greg.
And Greg's out, is it? Right. So it's all riding on Cousins for you.
It's all riding on. Yeah.
He's through now, though, isn't he?
Not a bad horse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's worse people you can have your money riding on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
He seems to just be getting stronger each game as well, doesn't he? Well, it's a nice break from deck. His white was heading right towards that corner pocket and got battered away from a couple of balls. There's another chance for him. He must be taking these now.
Well, I don't know what's happening on that
So it's
Mick Hill game. I've just looked across at it, and Mick, I can only assume, has missed the black because the black's still on the table.
He did. He went for the black and caught the 2 balls that was nearest.
Oh no!
I was getting confused. I think it was actually Gillespie breaking on here. So good chance for him.
Oh my goodness!
What's Josh done? What was he thinking?
So
Nice shot from Gupta, but he's still going to need another little break out here.
should be able to pot this and just double kiss that yellow out, and it's got a bit awkward. He's got a double, or he's got a plant.
Or the cut along the rail. But
Well, the cut along the rail, yeah. A few options.
he's got a few choices there. Looks like he's going double.
So while we were groaning, Josh Kane had a great opportunity, and he spotted a red and tried to move the black off the side rail when it probably didn't really need moving. He could have dropped on it at his last ball, and he snookered himself on both of the last reds.
One of those shots where I think if he'd still been 8-3 up and he'd got that chance, he'd have cleared him up, left the black down the rail, and probably nailed it.
I often mention on stream, I'm always a bit baffled by the top players. They seem just a little bit obsessed sometimes of trying to move balls off of rails, especially on a new cloth, on a decent table. The pockets play quite big because they obviously slide in, and you know, the balls up the rails aren't quite as difficult as they are for a pub player on a pub table, are they?
Yeah, exactly. I think actually one of the players that doesn't do that is Mick.
Yeah.
He just tends to leave him on the rail and not be bothered, even at times where he's got the perfect breakout shot for it, and he still turns it down and just nails him up the rail.
So it's just a little bit awkward now because with the balls left and right, they're both just off the rail, and he needs to get from one to the other. This looks a little bit straight, but I think he should just be able to screw back out into mid-table.
Yeah, mid-table will be fine.
Oh, he could pitch a bit as well.
Yeah, it's fine. I think he probably got a bit more than he expected to into that one. Certainly looking like 4-2 now. I think Gibbs will be a bit disappointed at missing that double, to be honest with you. I think.
Yeah, very.
It's one you'd expect him to get.
So Gareth Hibbett wins another decider. That's, well, what a day he's had. He lost in winners round 1 against Scott Gillespie in a Hill game, 11-10, and that was late last night. He was pretty distraught about that one as well. Right at the end, he had his chances, and he felt, because the game was put on the clock, even though he felt a bit hard done by because it started kind of half an hour later than everything else. And there was another game that didn't finish till probably about 40 minutes afterwards, a Declan Brennan game, which, you know, coincidentally wasn't on the clock. So I think he just felt a bit hard done by that. He'd lost the game because he was rushed into his shot.
Yeah, I watched that game actually, and I saw the shot as well that you mentioned where you'd fancy him to get it. He was sort of near the knuckle of the middle, and the ball was kind of probably halfway between the black spot and the back rail. It's one you'd fancy him getting all day long, but it's just that time pressure just makes you just rush that shot maybe a little bit.
And so he was back in action at 10:30 this morning. He beat Drew Hughes 8-5. And then he played Richard Toomey, and he beat Richard Toomey in a Hill game. And then he beat Clint Jansen 8-6. And then he's just beaten Carl O'Donoghue 8-7. So Gareth, still a huge feature in this game. He's going to play the loser of Mark Boyle against John Rowe. So at the moment, Mark Boyle on the hill, so looks like it might be John Rowe. So they'll be in action at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And that'll be losers qualification. Gareth Hibbett now in losers qualification. So this, I think, one of the deepest runs he's had in the event so far. And you can never count him out.
Well, Matt Farnsworth has come right back at Shane Thompson there. 9-8 now.
It's unbelievable. These comebacks. And somehow this frame is still going on between Mick Hill and Josh Kane. It's still 8-all.
Yeah.
And Josh is on a finish. Sean Story now on the hill against Dave Fernandez. Ronan McCarthy on the hill against Mike King, 10 frames to 3. Mark Boyle on the hill against John Rowe, 10-6.
Mentioned Richard Toomer against Hibbert as well. He's gone out in 2 deciders there then, because he went up to Dunster in the decider yesterday.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Dunster to get it to a decider pulled out an absolutely ridiculous finish. He just looked dead and buried. It looked like he had to play a safety shot, and with him generally looking for the safety route anyway, you think it's nailed on. He's going to look at a snooker, and instead he's played a ball off 2 other balls into the middle pocket to open both of those balls up because he didn't go, whilst coming off the rail, opening up another ball. So he's opened up 3 balls in 1 shot, but all controlled, no like whacking or anything like that. He's opened up 3 bad balls and cleared up to make it a decider. And
Wow.
it was just a ridiculous shot.
So through on the losers' side to losers' qualification, Gareth Hibbert, Paul Riley, Arfin Dad, Toby Bolt, Craig Waddingham, Sanjay Patel. Carl Morris is 6-1 up against Dylan Leary. Callum Singleton, Lee Clough, 3 frames each. And Lee Clough's had a day of it today as well. He's put in some hours. Beat Liam White 8-3. Beat Liam Dunster in a Hill game 8-7.
Did he beat Harrison in a Hill game?
Beat Adam Penwell 8-1. Beat Phil Harrison, early this morning, and that really was a brilliant game.
Yeah.
That was a great game to watch and commentate on. So things are shaping up. Winners qualification shaping up. Those 8 will go into the last 16. Losers qualification is starting to fill up, and they'll be ready to play at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So early start with the action tomorrow. Make sure you set your alarm clocks. You're going to have the last day of the Ryder Cup and the last day of event 4. Make no plans. If your missus wants to go out shopping for the day, give her 50 quid and tell her to get on her way. Tell her you've got TV, laptop on the arm of the chair, and stick with us. Should be a great day of pool.
New format seemed to work well last time, didn't it, for getting a more reasonable finish time?
Yeah. They worked long and hard trying to find the best way to try and cut a bit of time out. Those first 2 events. Oh, what's he done here? Well, he's okay, but would have had his heart in his mouth for a second. He just caught the red a bit thick, didn't he? It just went in off the knuckle, and it threw the white a bit wider. Another couple of inches of pace, and he would have had no shot.
Although saying that, with how thick he caught it probably took a bit of the pace off it as well. If he'd have caught it thinner,
Sure
he
enough.
might have lost it.
Ronan McCarthy is through against Mike King, 11-3. Mick Hill.
Does it well.
Mick Hill with just a couple of drop-ins to level things up at 9-all. Nothing in that match. A couple of incredible comebacks. Josh King was 8-3 up. That one's now 9-all. Shane Thompson was 9-3 or 9-4.
Maybe 9-3.
I think it was 9-3 up. And that's now 9-8 against Mark Farnsworth.
Ronan McCarthy's absolutely gone to town on Mike King there, hasn't he? 11-3.
Yeah. And Mike's been playing really well.
Yeah, certainly has. He always does seem to play well here, doesn't he, mate?
Yeah. I don't know how Ronan McCarthy just so consistent. Carl Morris on the hill and almost through to losers qualification. And if Carl does complete that win, as it looks like he will, he'll play Mike King tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Crunch that break. Very nearly lost the white. The white was flying around the table.
Looked like a bit of a wild one, that.
Yeah.
Miss that. Was that straight off the break, or had he had a...
Yeah, that was off the break, yeah. Roger Harmon asking about the shark rack that you see in use and where we can buy one. You can buy one from the Supreme Series through the Supreme Series page if you message, or alternatively eBay. They're for sale on eBay. They cost, I think, £9.99. The inventor and maker of them is a guy called Shane Conroy, and Shane sells them through eBay. Or, as I say, you can message the players page or Lee Kendall, and he can organise one for you. I noticed they were selling them at the EBPF event last week. Just wanted to pot that clean, didn't want to glance that yellow, and that's going to cause him a real headache now.
Yeah, it was a bit of a disaster catching that yellow. I mean, it was a tricky enough clearance as it was, but he's just made it nigh on impossible now.
Looking across and seeing Josh Kane in the middle of a clearance, but he's got a little stinker. Left himself Chinese on a ball on the side rail, and must be like treading mud when you've been 8-3 up against McHill and it's 9-all. It's just always what could have been. Well, that's
a great little shot.
Clever shot. Covering the bag, just laying the snooker. Should be a fairly easy escape, one cushion, but even so, that one shot has given Declan control of the frame. It buys him some time now to start developing these difficult balls.
Yeah, if he goes for the one cushion escape, I think he's only really got one ball to go at, and that's up the top end near the ball line.
The bulk line, yeah.
Or he could maybe swerve it a little bit. It's always a little bit trickier when they're close. No, they're always trickier when they're sort of close to the rail like that, because you got a very slight small margin for error about hitting on the rail, because you're kind of going in at a close angle and then coming out.
So he's got a couple of yellows tied up here. What's your how do you use the free shot here?
Yeah.
Maybe try and just wonder if there's, play the red into that cluster and screw back into the yellow, or are you just focusing on getting one of your difficult balls out?
I think you just screw onto that yellow so you can play it. So get this one out and just screw onto the side rail so you can play the other one.
Play it into the middle.
Yeah.
Good spot.
It's still a tricky-ish finish, this. Benefit of black ball, is he? He's not worried about what's happening with those two reds as long as he's got a shot next.
Josh Kane did manage to complete that clearance, and he's now 10-9 up against Mick Hill. And it was his break in the next frame, and he managed to pot one ball off the break. That one ball was the black. Nothing else went in, so he'll be happy to see the black disappear, and he gets another go.
That's a nice shot, that, from Deck.
Yeah, not worried about leaving the red over the pocket. He doesn't need that pocket. All the balls now go to left corner.
Matt Farnsworth's gone 9-all with Shane Thompson from 9-3 down.
Just can't write the guy off, can you, Mark Farnsworth? He's always there. I've often used the word clinical to describe him when he's in amongst the balls. Just so very rarely makes a mistake. Often has the cue ball on the string. And he's just like a surgeon when he goes about his finishes.
Yeah.
That's a good one from Declan. Keeps him in this match. 6-2. Would have been a long road back.
frame, Declan Brennan to break, trailing 5 frames to 3. Time running.
Josh Kane on the hill, and he's on a finish, and he's on a very makeable finish, and one that you would definitely expect him to get under normal circumstances, but playing Mick Hill in winners qualification is not normal circumstances, and some poor person may be getting Mick Hill to land upon them in losers qualification. And that person will be Arf and Dad. Oh, they'll have played each other many times before, haven't they?
Yeah,
In fact, Mick played Sanjay Patel earlier, and I think they were all practice partners, weren't they? Pretty sure they were.
Right,
I think so. I might be mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure that they used to play a lot together.
I know that Sanjay was certainly a practice partner of Rob Chilton.
Yeah, well, they're all Midlands, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
from a similar area. Yeah, I know Sanj used to play with Rob.
Tricky little finish here for Goobs. Assuming that yellow goes into the middle that's near the black. That could be his last ball potentially. Oh, he's played that nice. Deck really needed that last frame, didn't he? It was starting to slip away from him a little bit there. I think 6-2 would have been a tough one to come back from.
Josh with just 3 balls left. And now just 2. And he's literally got a red, which is a drop in, followed by what should be a straight black to middle bag. And this should be all over for him. And he will qualify for the last 16, barring an absolute miracle. That's going to be Mick Hill into losers qualification, 9 AM tomorrow morning, versus Arf and Dad. And Josh Kane does dispatch that ball. There are a ripple of applause in the background, and what a great win for him. So Mick Hill sent to the losers side. It's just one game now against Arf and Dad in the morning to come back.
I think it really shows some character from Josh though, to be 8-3 up and to see that lead disappear and still take the win. So I'm going.
So we know that losers qualification tomorrow morning, we're going to have Gareth Hibbert versus John Rowe, Paul Riley versus Dan Davey, Arf and Dad versus Mick Hill. Toby Bolt will play the loser of this game. Craig Waddingham, Dave Fernandez. Sanjay Patel will play the loser of Shane Thompson, Mark Farnsworth, who are still 9 each. And then you've got the winner of Carl Morris and Dylan Leary will play Mike King. And the winner of Callum Singleton, Lee Clough, will play Mark Fleming. So that's how the losers qualification shapes up.
That's a nice finish there. To take a 6-3 lead. Very nice last ball into the corner bag and cannon the black into one of the reds. Held it nicely. Deck just looking a little bit dejected there, but I'm sure if he gets his chance, he'll be jumping on it.
You can see,
Farnsworth at the table.
yeah, people with their back to you, even Goobsy with his back to us, just looking through the window at what's going on.
What must be going through Shane's head at the minute? We're having a 9-3 lead, so we're 9-all, and you see Farnsworth at the table, essentially clearing up. Matt Schofield will be pulling his hair out at the minute after picking Josh Kane to win that game and picking Shane to win that. It was 9-3 up.
Frame, stop Gillespie to break, leading 6 frames to 3. Time running.
And Farnsworth is on a decent clearance across there as well. Looks like he's odds on to go 10-9 ahead.
His wire literally goes everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
After that break, it's
Yeah, it
amazing
flies.
what ends up in.
It's amazing that he didn't go in off more.
Well, it's probably rather not potted both, but it's not too bad. Just looking where I'd like to be there. If he kisses into that red, it's absolutely perfect.
Should be okay.
Yeah,
Still.
Still make the punt or even the long ball, maybe.
Yeah.
Could probably take it long now.
Farnsworth has a half ball cut to the corner bag to go 10-9, which he makes. And he goes on the hill. And he's gathering the balls, so it looks like it's going to be his break in the next frame as well. So from 9-3 behind to 10-9 ahead with the break.
Oh, it's just forced it that little bit too much, and probably left him an easy start there from the looks of it.
Declan wouldn't have been expecting this chance.
No, it's quite a poor miss, really. Just wondering whether Farnsworth having the breaks an advantage or not, though. He's not renowned for having the biggest of breaks.
True.
It's a bit of a rarity, a top player not to have a very strong break.
Yeah, I think Gareth Potts mentioned previously on commentary that he'd been working with Mark on his break. I think he spends a lot of time on it.
Yeah. It makes sense too if it's a sort of one aspect to your game that's letting you down, because the rest of it's pretty much bang on, really. Isn't it? That's a nice shot that from down.
And I think he was using one of Gareth's cues, whether it was his Chinese cue or I'm sure he said Mark was using one of his cues as a break cue.
Well, that wouldn't be a good endorsement for that. I use a Chinese 8-ball cue to break, and you saw mine earlier on, so I no longer endorse that one. He's made the ball.
He has made a ball off the break, and that looks very ominous for Shane. All the yellows or the reds. I mean, you could probably choose either set. And Mark Farnsworth, as I said, he's very clinical in those situations. Just don't expect him to miss from there. And that looks like it's curtains for Shane Thompson. He'll be wondering what's wrong, what's gone wrong in that game.
Yeah, I think he'll be a bit shell-shocked with that one, won't they, really? Lose 8 on the bounce.
It was probably my fault with that little brag earlier on that I said that I called Shane as the winner on that game. Probably just turned it on a sixpence.
I don't think he's won a frame since that.
No, he hasn't. The pool gods came together to punish me vicariously through him.
Dex took these out very well here. It was a really nice first shot down the rail. Tricky ball. Took it very confident. Looked for all intents and purposes like he was going 7-3 down, so 6-4. A bit relieved with that one.
Yeah, he'll be over the moon. So we're deep into Saturday night now, just a few minutes left of Saturday. It's been a long day. Started streaming at 10:45 this morning. And an early start tomorrow morning. And Mark Farnsworth across on that other table with a little series of 3 or 4 drop-ins. He won't be missing from here.
Yeah, just one long ball now to take the match. Looks perfect on it, really.
Declan Brennan to break. Trailing 6-4. Time running.
And it is Mark Farnsworth on the black to complete a great comeback against Shane Thompson. For Shane, it will be a trip across into losers qualification from Mark Farnsworth. He cements his place in the last 16. So, just a couple of games still underway. One game in the winners section. That's the one you're watching. In the losers section, Carl Morris 7-2 against Dylan Leary, and Lee Clough 5-4 against Callum Singleton. And again, you know, it's the difference between the winners and the losers. The losers, their punishment is to be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, so probably an early start, you know. You want to wake up call about 7:30, get yourself showered and dressed, and maybe have a coffee and some breakfast and get yourself mentally prepared to start at 9 o'clock, whereas the winners, It's an 11 o'clock start. That's much more leisurely for a Sunday morning, isn't it?
Certainly is.
You can set your alarm for about 9 and go and have a nice breakfast somewhere.
Bit of a mistake there from Deck. Looks like he's going to have to cue the long one up the rail now. Yeah, the difference is on the winner's side there as well. Like starting at 11, it's a long day for the one who does go all the way. And to try and do that from the loser's side, to have that extra match, that extra couple of hours, it just makes it that little bit tougher.
I mean, I feel sorry for the commentator personally, because he's got to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning. Right until the end. Until the last ball's been struck. And then he's going to get in his car and drive 180 miles down the motorway.
But you know you love it.
Yeah, I do. You got to love it, because you definitely don't do it for the money.
Said Weather disagree with you on that. Wow.
That's an incredible miss. Just seems to have lost a little bit of focus.
That is an absolute gift.
Even that one just seems like it's been under hit.
Yeah, it's not the best, but you'd be surprised if he didn't get it right. But like you say, he's left it in a place where it's not guaranteed.
Well, just a bit straighter, and he can drop in behind the red and yellow, and it's an absolute gimme.
Yeah.
But,
I'm still amazed at that last miss, to be honest with you. I mean, that was a crazy miss.
yeah, that was always going to be the issue. He just had to make sure that he got that connection with the black ball right, and he did. So.
Well, but for 2 misses, it could have been an 8-3 lead, but instead it's 6-5, and it's anybody's game now.
Frame, Scott Gillespie to break, leading 6 frames to 5. Time running.
absolutely quench that.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of frustration in that one.
Yeah, he knows that he's let some chances go here. And Declan's still snapping at his heels where Scott should be approaching the finish line. Referee removing the rack from the table. I thought it was quite funny that during your game with Ronan earlier,
Yeah.
Ronan wasn't particularly breaking well, and every time he was leaving 2 or 3 balls on the rack,
Yeah.
and he was insisting on moving that rack off the table, wasn't he? Absolutely insisting on it.
Yeah.
And there was quite a funny one where there was 3 or 4 balls, and he said, "No, I want it off the table because I'm just about." Viv said, "Well, if it's too difficult, leave it on there." And he said, "No, I'm just about to play a shot. I'm just about to play a shot. I want it off the table." So they've taken like 3 minutes to remove it off the table, and he's got ball in hand because you've gone in off, and he's just smashed them over.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I thought that when he said it, because I thought the only shot's going to be to sort of hit him pretty hard anyway to split him, so I thought the rack's not going to make any difference, but no, it's up to him, yeah.
And it was funny because then Craig Laker was on shortly afterwards, and I was commentating with Adam Penwell at the time, and he said, "Is Lakin going to get the shot rack removed for this black?" And I said, "There's no chance. There's no chance he's going to try and get a break in his momentum." The thing is with that rack, you can play a ball across it. If you play it with stern or speed or any kind of pace across it, it's never going to divert. But Ronan just seemed like, no, get off the table. I don't want it there.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me whether it's on or it's not, to be honest, unless I'm going to be playing something that's like dead weight across it.
Dead weight, or you're going to put your hand near it.
Exactly, yeah, you've always got to be wary of that in case you accidentally move it and move a ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing a shot across it, like you say, if you're going to be playing anything with any reasonable amount of pace, and it's not going to make any difference. Oh, this positional shot now.
Well, I just saw Matt Schofield walking through the door, and he looks like he's got a smile on his face still, so he can't be too disappointed in the Shane time. I mean, he must have been literally.
He must have been gutted about it.
He must have been counting the money.
Yeah, got to have been.
Because you almost do, don't you? You look at that scoreline, you think, "Oh, hang on a minute, how much does this bet pay?" And you're like, "What? 670 quid? Oh, what am I going to do with that?"
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I've been after that new flat screen TV, and you're kind of rubbing your hands together and mentally spending it. It's the worst thing you can do. But we've all done it.
Yeah. He was a little bit unlucky with the bet yesterday, actually. When he was playing Cousins, obviously he was quite a big outsider. He was about 7-2, 4-1, something like that. And 5 of that black. And he had a double with himself and Dave McQuillan, who was about 5-2, 3-1. And Dave won 11-10, and Matt lost 11-10. It would have been a nice return, I think, if he'd have won that one.
Yeah. It's great play. I heard someone.
Talk about confidence.
Yeah, I heard someone in the crowd immediately say shot.
That'll make him feel a lot better.
Mate, you feel a lot better as well.
Don't know what you mean. I couldn't possibly have anything riding on this.
So Carl Morris beat Dylan Leary 8 frames to 2. So I would like to tell you that this is the last game on in the venue, but it's not, because the tower's still around.
He likes his pool.
Oh, he loves it. I tell you what, He gets value for money. He gets his 50 pence worth, doesn't he? When he sticks the 50p in the machine, he's
He
like,
certainly does.
no, this is costing me 50p, so I'm going to get at least half an hour's worth of entertainment out of this game.
Well, there was certainly some entertainment with him at the last series. I know you saw that he played Yannick, and it was on the Saturday night. Lee Clough, Yannick for free. I mean, you can imagine how that game went.
Oh, goodness.
And it was funny at the end of it because obviously they ended up having to get a shot clock, as you could imagine. And they had an argument at the end of it about who was the slowest player, and it was hilarious.
Never. I watched a lot of the last event. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. I was lying in a hospital bed down in Somerset. And, I was admitted into intensive care for 4 or 5 days. Yeah.
Seemed to have bounced back, was it?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Too much in the end.
2 weeks beforehand, I had a operation. I had a surgery, like a routine arthroscopy, as they call it, keyhole surgery on my knee. And I was at home recovering from that and feeling a lot of discomfort. And I thought, well, it's just a bit constipating after the general anaesthetic, after the operation on my knee. And got to that was on the Monday I had the op, and it got to the following Sunday night, and I was in absolute agony, and took myself into A&E, and they found that I had a really heavily infected gallbladder, and had to have an emergency op to get it removed.
Right,
in
quite
which,
serious.
yeah, it should have taken an hour, and it was like 4.5 hours, and I lost a load of blood and ended up in intensive care. And then 2 days after that, they diagnosed me with pneumonia.
Wasn't having a good time with it then.
So literally, that was around about, I guess that must have been August the 12th, something like that, 13th, and I actually went back to work just last week. It's been a bit of a road to recovery. In fact, I'm not even close to being now. I'm staying at the Travel Lodge and popped into the supermarket this morning. I was walking up through town, just carrying a carrier bag in my hand with a bit of shopping in it, and I was talking to my wife on the phone, and I just said, I can't believe how unfit I am. I was out of breath just walking up the hill. So probably about 80%, but it's nice to be back.
Yeah.
Hated missing that last event. So
who stepped in for the commentary then at the last one, or was it a bit of a mixture of people?
Mike Day. Mike Day stepped in. He's Mike Day from down in Plymouth. He runs a website called the Q View, and really knowledgeable Q Sports. In fact, he's away at a snooker event this weekend doing all their social media. And very good, very interesting commentator. So we're hoping to get him in for the grand final. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, it's about 6 weeks away or something like that, 6-8 weeks.
yeah, 20. I think, does it kick off
right,
on
right
29th
right
of November? Have you tried looking at the new rule set?
Not really. No, I mean, when they first brought them out, I had a real brief glance. I'd actually had a little bit of a chat with Lee about it anyway, about what rules he was bringing in. So I sort of got the gist of what it was, but other than that, nothing really. I figured I'll just turn up and try and pot. Really, other than that. I sort of get the gist of the fact that maybe slightly towards Chinese pool type of rules, where certainly with the that's a nice shot there from Deck. Certainly with this shot where you can hit your own ball and pot your opponent's ball, and it's just pass over a visit, or you can obviously do the skill shot and you find you carry on. And I think that'll be the one that maybe catches people out at times. They'll maybe cover a pocket, walk away thinking, yeah, I'm in quite a good position, and before they know it, they won't have a shot on the ball or they're gone, and 'Cause that's the way it tends to work at Chinese pool. It's marginally trickier than he would have liked, but you still can't see him missing this, really.
A couple of people were asking about the cloth and why we've got this grey cloth on the table. It's a newly designed cloth which has been made especially for this series. It's Strachan Superfine. I don't know if that's going to be the name that remains, but I mean, it's difficult to not draw comparisons with other cloths. Everyone tells me that this is, I obviously haven't played on it, but very fast, very reactive, responsive, and without bringing other, as I say, it's impossible not to draw comparisons with other cloths. But when you run your hand across it, it does feel very much like a match cloth, doesn't it? It's just got that very, very fine nap, just almost like a tiny a bristle to it. I think most people have enjoyed it. I think a lot of people like the colour. I quite like the colour on camera. It makes a change from the green, and I like the contrast of the colours of the balls against the cloth. But again, it's going to be a question of taste. You can never please everybody. Some people are going to love it, and some people are going to hate it.
Yeah, when I saw it for the first time on Thursday night, I thought, not bad, not too bothered by it. And then, to be honest, it's kind of grown on me, the colour of it.
Yeah.
In terms of the way it plays, really impressed with it.
I think personally, it's quite easy on the eye. It's I've been sat here commentating. When I do these series, I'm sat in this chair for probably best part of 36 hours over a weekend, if not more, maybe closer to 46 hours over a weekend. And you're looking at this table constantly, and I think it's been fairly easy on the eye. But as I say, it's going to be a question of taste.
Yeah, you're never going to please everyone.
For me, it's about more about how it plays. As long as it plays well, then everyone should be fairly happy about it.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the way it plays. I think it's a very quick cloth, very reactive cloth. So you can't really ask for more than that.
So still just one frame in it. And
he's just having a look there to see whether the one that's sort of closest to the blue spot, the yellow, goes into the bottom right-hand pocket. If it does, he can screw across now to the one on the rail, pot that, screw back, and you'd fancy him from there. They're not straightforward.
No, they're not.
But
it's almost that kind of. I often say it's about the kind of route map. It's how the table lends itself from one ball to the next. And the best patterns are the ones that are just a kind of natural. You can just roll from one to the next ball. And this one needs a little bit more work. A couple of potential banana skins. It's the yellow on the left-hand side, closest to us, closest to the rail. And that one, it's all about.
I'd say that's his trickiest ball, really. The one on the left-hand side.
It should be a clearance, but you can just see a potential problem.
He's played that well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there you get those two balls on the rails, sort of, whether you're going to have to go from one to the other, maybe. It's just all about who it takes them. There's even an argument he could do it now, but I don't know whether he would. You know, whether he could take the one on the right hand side, come across to the one on the left hand side, and whether the one kind of middle-ish goes into the top right hand side. But there's so many different ways you can go about this, really.
And Rob Dean pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's about brand identity. The grey cloth and Lee Kendall just trying to create a unique identity for the series. And why not? I mean, IPA did it with the powder blue cloth, so they kind of made that their own. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's a good shot. It's still not absolutely straightforward.
No.
You'd fancy him for it, but it's by no means a set. He's like one good positional shot away from doing this.
I was just about to say that's one good positional shot, but he's hampered now.
Yeah, if it had just held up an inch or two, it would have been perfect.
This is ugly now.
Yeah, I mean,
How on earth do you?
I think all he can do is just top it through and have a thin chip, and it's what you do with that black. If you can do that, if you can top it through and still have a shot, he's trying to really get into this. It's tough. Yeah, he's just giving himself a shot on it. That's all I can really do. It's a tricky one, this. I think that's why when there were 4 to go, there was an argument for taking that one on the right-hand side and just coming across to the one on the left, because there were always going to be a real bit of an obstacle.
No, I mean this is a massive frame, isn't it? You know, these swings now. Just magnified. No, that's no good.
Deck will be taking these. Oh, that was commentator's cuss. Can you believe it?
Well, it's normally me who does that, so I'm glad it was you.
I was really gobsmacked at that one. I mean,
Incredible miss.
yeah. I didn't think he needed to hit it as hard as he did, and I think that's why he kind of swung it out and missed it. But I mean, even hitting it hard, you can't imagine him missing that ball.
Dave Priest asking for our prediction over who's going to win this event. Well, mine's already gone. I predicted Jordan Church, so I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
So that was up in
Cousins.
Yeah,
Cousins or Sheppy. I mean, Sheppy's in great form, but the problem is with Sheppy, he's always got, he's got one bad game in him, and he's not had that yet. But it's there lurking.
I've not seen him miss a ball all weekend. Not a single ball.
I know.
Every time I've watched him, he's just cleared up.
But he's always got a bad game in him.
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, I'm a big fan. I'm a friend of Sheppy's, and I always want to see him win. So, you're always watching him a little bit more nervous, and I don't know. He's just going to chuck in a bad one somewhere. I hope he doesn't.
Mentioned Jordan Church there, and I was having breakfast with him yesterday. We were staying at the same place that I am, and got chatting about. We were both still in the winner's side. We got chatting about it, and he says, I hope I don't drop into the loser's side. He says, I've never won a game. He says, he's never won a single game at losers. Neither have I. So I'm like the same, and then we've both gone out of the winner's side today, and we've both gone straight out of the loser's side. Still never to win a game. I nearly had a double on it. I thought, I can't really bet against myself, but I thought I was going to have a double on me and Jordan both to go out.
And the Lee Clough Callum Singleton game. Callum Singleton 6-5 up against Cloughie. That game been going for nearly 2 hours, and they've played 11 frames. That's a pretty good rate for them. Well, no, pretty good rate for Clough, should I say?
Yeah,
Callum.
I don't think you can put Callum in that
No,
bracket, can you?
no.
He had a good lead yesterday, Callum, didn't he, against Lee Washbrook? It was just like 9-4 up and ended up losing 11-10.
Yeah. Oh, disaster.
Oh, that's just compounding it for Deck after that miss he's just done and getting nuts enough.
And the Reds all look great. I mean, just obviously got this little cluster at the bottom of 3 balls, but he can use his free shot just to knock them out.
It's so big. I mean, for me, that rule should be changed. I honestly don't feel you should get the free shot off the break. You know, you want to be able to feel like you can open the balls up and not be penalised if your white gets nuts enough.
It's costing you the frame.
It is. I mean, every time. I mean, like I say earlier on against MacArthur, 4 in a row in offs and 4 in a row he's dished. You know, it's just you might as well rack them up again.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I've heard the argument. I've heard the argument previously about if you go straight in off, then
it should be different.
you get penalised. Yeah. You know, either 2 visits or you. But if you get kicked in off, it should be 1 shot.
You've got to make it simpler. Of
course you have. Because how do you call it? I mean, didn't that glance that ball on? No, it didn't. You know, that's just rubbish.
Stupid. I mean, to be honest, I can see the argument where people are saying about the skill shot should be nominated. I can see the argument for never having a nominated skill shot because there's certain shots where it'd be so difficult to sort of call it, and it'd just end up in arguments. So for me, keep it simple.
Needs to watch where this yellow's going.
It's been unfortunate there. Very, very unfortunate with that one. Unless it sneaks in, but I don't think it does.
No, I don't think so. Looking at the look on his face.
Maybe what he could do is pop this red and
punch the yellow away, and then it clears the bag.
Even use the yellow. Yeah, either way, get the yellow out of the way. And then at least it goes across into the other bag. Then.
Yeah.
It's just he's unlucky to even have to think about it because it'd have been a straightforward finish otherwise. I mean, those yellows aren't great anyway, are they? If he was to miss.
I think he's played it there, hasn't he? Just underhit it slightly. If he'd hit that with another couple of inches of pace, he would have just pushed the yellow up and.
Yeah. It would have been a great shot if he'd knocked the yellow there, like you say, so that red goes into the right middle.
Now this is a bit awkward now. I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit high for whether you play the screw back shot into it, so maybe he might elect not to. Massive frame, this really. Has he given it enough? Looks like it's probably just okay. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't do something to get rid of that yellow, and whilst he still had the free shot, effectively.
Oh, wow.
He's flicked it.
No.
Well,
he got away with it.
If he's not left him on that plant for the 2 up at the top right, which I don't think he has massively got away with that.
He can feel very fortunate because not only has he not left anything, he's covered the path for the yellow to middle. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a safety shot off that and to try and get him up behind those 2 at the top right, but you've got to be really careful of not planting that red. If not, then you're hitting the one closest to you, and that's opening that red up. So playing this one now, he has to get it safe. Yeah, he's just elected to keep it tight.
Yeah, clever. He's developed the yellows, but at the same time, he's got a chance to get his hand on the table, and he's
got a couple of options here. Really. I mean, he's obviously got the long pot on the left-hand side. I mean, it may be a crazy shot, but the 2 that are together in the middle, it could come off them and into the plant on the red and yellow. You'd have to be brave to take it on.
It's going long.
Just a safety.
It's a safety.
It's nice that because it again he's only leaving him with the one that he doesn't want to break out. So whether he elects to maybe try and do something up the top end again. Another beat.
Extension called.
Really does need to pull something out here, Deck. Massive frame. So doesn't want to be going 9-6 down. And he's having a bit of a look at whether he could send that red into the 3 yellows at the top, which would be a nice shot if he could. He's pulled out a great snooker there. So with that shot, he's just gone favourite. It looked like he was dead and buried early on in this frame.
Foul. One free shot, one visit. Time running.
Callum Singleton now on the hill against Lee Clough. Very good from Kevin Stewart, and that is true. That's the first time that I've been on the hill for a very long time. Never get time to play pool anymore. just spent half my life talking about it. So, again, one frame. There've been some fascinating games for us to watch today. So many close games and so many where they've just swung one way and then the other. Scott's break. And can he shake off Declan? Watch this cue ball. It's going to fly. Oh, he managed to control that one much better. Screwed it straight up the middle of the table. And that was because he managed to flush the front ball. Timed it onto that front ball perfectly. So it just meant the white ball came straight back up the middle of the table instead of flying in all directions like it has been.
So what for missed here, isn't it?
Well, not too much. Declan made his clearance in the last one. And this is from the break. Scott smashed the front ball. And for once the white wasn't flying everywhere because he absolutely flushed the front ball. And he's got a pretty reasonable chance.
Yes.
Looks like he's going to take yellows.
Very makeable clearance, this really. So it's pretty much all about the next two positional shots, really. Wants to part this ball into the middle and the one at the top end of the table and land pretty much on what would be the blue spot.
I mean, there's a discussion going on in the chat box about the break that we just started a moment ago, and the fact that, you know, what it should be, how you should be penalised, and yeah, I can see there's definitely an argument that you should be punished if you go in off. It's at the end of the day you're committing a foul, and it's got to be said there is definitely a skill to it. I mean, it's difficult when you get kicked in off. It's just one of those things. It happens to everyone. But when you're breaking and sending the white straight in off, I mean, Lakin was doing it earlier. He was endangering that top right-hand pocket nearly every time. Then you watch someone like Phil Harrison, who's just got an incredible break. He times it beautifully well, and he just seems to consistently. He kills the white off the front to the side rail. It smashes the front, and then it comes away from the pack and almost like kind of bananas into round about where the bolt line meets the side cushion, and he just does the same thing every time. And doing that, it takes a lot of the danger away from, you know, he's rarely going straight in off. Okay, he's going to get kicked now and again, but
always
you know, there is a skill to it.
He's played that nice and confident there. Needs to drop this in for an easy black.
And he's just not been able to shake Declan off as he keeps going 2 ahead, and then Declan pulls that one back, and then Scott's under pressure to break dish. Otherwise, Declan's drawing close, Well, Declan has had a couple of good, really like kind of gilt-edged opportunities to draw level, but not being able to take them. But Scott doing what he needed to do there. Nice break dish.
Yeah, the frame before that was massive, where he had 2 shots and he just never quite made the clearance, and everything just seems to just go a little bit tricky. Yeah, for me, like you were saying about the break, then I don't feel you could do it based on whether you get kicked in or not, because you just overcomplicate things. You know, what if the ball kind of jaws and it might drop, or the balls are coming near it, the ball drops in, did it hit it? You can just see the outcomes.
Absolutely, you can never, because there's too many ambiguities, and it's exactly the same thing as you mentioned about calling skill shots. I mean, it works in American, it works in Chinese because all the balls are numbered.
Yeah.
And then you can say, I'm going to play the 13, whatever. Yeah. In this game, when you've got a cluster of 3 reds and you nominate the top one, and then you just smash into them, who's to say the top one went in? Who's going to monitor that? Is the referee supposed to, you know, what's he going to do? Put a little white marker on the ball so he knows which one it was? I mean,
everything's flying everywhere.
And then you bring in the question, well, should you bring in numbered balls? Yeah. But then you're just changing the game. Yeah. You may as well just be playing American 8-ball with American balls, numbered balls. I mean, it doesn't work.
Even just like the punishment for it, even if you know which balls they are, the sort of the punishment for not getting it right, it starts to get confusing, because it's like, well, I've gone for this skill shot and I've put in my ball, but I've not got the skill shot. Well, what side is it? Pass over a visit? Yeah. Is it a foul? Is it not a foul? Well, I've not got my ball, but I have got their ball. Well, you'd assume it's a foul. Is it on the black? Does that mean I lose a game? It just starts throwing up all sorts of questions, really. So I can kind of understand why they've got it in. It's frustrating when you're playing it, and people are kind of getting things flying everywhere, not really playing the shot, and it's still just it's been unlucky there with that red and yellow just touching up against each other.
Might still go, you know.
It might do. I don't think the red does, but the yellow. I don't know. It's a tricky one. They both look like maybe they possibly don't just go. But yeah, it's just you want to try and keep things as simple as possible. Not really as such for the players, but more for people who are watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the arguments, isn't it? You could have never watched snooker before and not read the rules, and then sit down one evening and watch the game, and the referee's calling the points, and you'll be like, oh, right, so you got a pot of red, and then you pot of colour, and they're worth different amounts, and these are the spots that they go on, and the colours come back out of the pocket, but the reds don't. You can watch it for an hour, and you would virtually know the rules, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. You could pick up 99% of the rules at snooker, straightforward just from watching it for a bit, really. Yeah.
So now do exactly the same thing with an hour of world rules, when you've got 2 players playing DFs, playing their opponent's balls. Do you know what?
It gets tricky.
Well, it's funny you saying that, because I went to a poker event in Birmingham a few years ago, and just a friendly thing, a bunch of friends. There was about 100 of us there, and we said, what we'll do the night before, we'll go to the local 10-pin bowling place. They've got like 15 pool tables, and we'll hire the whole thing, and we'll put on a pool tournament. So I was playing. Everyone turns up, and they're all different levels. There's barely a pool player amongst them, and most of them are playing like old kind of EPA rules, or just making them up as they go along.
That's the case. Yeah.
And I play somebody else who, and I said to him, well, what? And I know he's a pool player, and I said, what rules do you want to play? And he goes, well, I don't mind. you know, what do you want? Well, I said, well, I normally play world rules, so do you want to play world rules? And yeah, all right, yeah. And so it gets to the point where I've got a few people watching, and I've got a little bit of a difficult situation. I play a DF. I play the white ball to the top cushion, and he goes, someone on the side said, "What are you doing? You're not going for a ball. No, it's a legal shot. What are you talking about? How can that be illegal? Well, he's got 2 shots, so I fouled, but I can play that shot. It's not loss of frame. Well, can he pick up the white? No, he's got to play it from where it is. Well, how does that work then? Do you know what I mean? It's just, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love playing world rules. I always have done, because that's all I've really ever known. That's all we play down in the area I come from. But you can understand it from an outsider looking in.
It's confusing.
And they're just like,
no doubt.
what's going on?
To be honest, even some world rules players who've actually played it for a while get confused.
Yeah, and there are things, if you sat and watched Black Ball for an hour, there are things in Black Ball you'd just be like, what are these people doing? So it's not yet so simple that it could. I've often said the only people who watch pool are pool players.
Yeah.
Now snooker, it's not just snooker players, is it? I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people enjoy watching the game, the excitement of the game. There's people who have never picked up a cue stick before, love watching snooker.
Yeah.
You could probably count the amount of people in the country who never played pool before, who sit and watch pool on one hand.
So you'd be surprised that, and it surprised me with the what they've done recently on it's like the IPA. With this they've obviously done the Premier League, but they had one before it, which was.
Oh yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, they had a tournament before it, and the amount of people at my work who said, "Did you see that pool last night?" And none of them are pool players. I'm thinking, what were you watching it?
It's good that it's starting to get on Free Sports, and obviously BBC, and it's starting to raise the profile of it. But that's why it becomes more important that it just needs to be so understandable. They need to relate it back to the game that they played in the pub. They had a pint with their mate. They put 50p in the machine, and it's like, oh, you're on reds, I'm on yellows, and so it has to be straightforward.
Which is why I think if you are going to stick with the skill shot, you can't really do a nomination, even though I think you almost should, because it's frustrating from a player's point of view. You can't really do it. You've got to keep it simple. Well, it's not straightforward by any means here for Scott, but he has got a chance that maybe he wouldn't have been expecting to get. It's all about that ball on the left-hand side, really.
Michael Campbell asking about the Tower game. That was still 7-5. You can look for yourself if you wish. All of the scores, the draw, everything that's happened in this event, and also how the draw's panning out, can be found on qscore.com. If you just go to the live tab at the top, you'll find the K8.com Classic, and you'll see the whole draw and all of the results laid out. So on the conclusion of that, why don't you go and have a little peruse, and always interesting just looking through all the results. So qscore.com.
Do you think you can maybe play the I was thinking maybe the right hand side, where the two that are together, play it off the rail, off the red, but not sure it's on. And based on that, the only thing I can assume is he's going into it. It's a tricky one, this.
Yeah, it is.
The odds are against here, but you never know.
Declan with his fingers crossed.
Maybe it does go. Maybe he just wanted to get perfect on it.
So the tower's pulled one back, and now it's 7 frames to 6.
And he did. And he's played it very, very well. It looks like that yellow near the black goes into the middle. If it does sneak in, then it's one big shot now, really.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple of players looking on with a keen interest, and I know that Ronan McCarthy is good friends with Declan, and Mark Farnsworth sat next to him. Now, I reckon they've probably got more than a passing interest. They've probably got a little yellow slip in their pocket, which is burning a hole.
A little bit riding on this.
Oh, they love a bet, those two, don't they?
I think he's just come just a little bit too far to make it an absolute drop in.
Yeah.
I think he's just got a little bit of angle he didn't want.
He's going top.
Yeah.
So clearly it doesn't go into the middle. He's nailed it.
Oh, look at that. Such a good
Absolutely
part.
nailed it.
Such a good part.
Nikhil was saying during an interview yesterday that the best players, they know which ones are the key frames when you got to get your foot down on the opponent's throat and just keep squeezing that pressure. And they know when they've really got to dig deep. And Scott Gillespie did so there. He knew that one big push gets him onto the hill. And now he's a massive, massive favourite. Had he not made that clearance at 9-8, Declan's really, really in this match. But
And I think, to be honest, at 9-8, if he'd have got there, Declan would have pretty much been the happiest with it, because he could have been well and truly out of this match by now. But certainly the chances have been there. He's made a few mistakes here and there, and maybe the breaks haven't gone quite as nicely for him as they have for Scott. But 10-7, it's a big ask now. See, Callum's racking him up again there, so it looks like he might be shaking hands. Is that a decider over there?
yeah,
Yep, must
it
be.
is 7-all. Towers pulled another one back. And a shout out to Minnesota Fats. He's watching. Just late Saturday night. Just ticking over to 5-1. A long finish, and I can hear cheers from in the other room. And that game between Callum and the Tower. So Callum is at the table. So has the Tower broken? And
Callum's broke. Callum broke and potted.
oh, Callum broke and potted. Wondered if it was maybe an in-off. People watching with a keen interest. It always adds a little aspect when you've got the bookmaker in the room. You know, there's someone probably sweating that game for you know, who knows, maybe a few £100. It's a great addition having a bookie in the house, isn't it? I mean, the thing is, if you have a bad weekend, as long as you keep it sensible, if you have a bad weekend, you know, okay, you can take the loss. You know, you've had a few £10 or £20 accumulators or whatever. Just play within your limits, and you can take it on the chin. But if you have a good weekend, you know, you can pay for the whole lot, can't you?
Yep,
you only need to get 1 or 2 of those accumulators up, and you've covered all your costs for the weekend, and maybe got a few quid in your pocket as well.
Yeah, he definitely adds to it without a shadow of a doubt. So yesterday I noticed in my second game that Chippy was watching, and I kind of thought nothing of it, but you know, generally when you see people watching, you kind of figure they've got a bit of something riding on it. And I saw him today, and he's like, "Oh, glad you got that one yesterday." He said, "They're all riding on you," sort of thing. So Don't know what he got back, but I think it must have been the last one to finish.
And Minnesota Fats just sent a photo in of he's got the game on the big screen, and in the foreground a nice glass of red on the go. So he's definitely enjoying his Sunday evening. Lovely way to spend it too. Delightful. As it's late in the evening, I've even treated myself to a beer. Can't have too many because you just end up waking up in the morning with a bit of a bad head, and you've got to start all over again.
Yeah, you got another long day tomorrow, haven't you?
Yeah.
Nice shot that from deck. He's nice to get his white out and give himself a good chance here, really.
Yeah, all he can do is take everything that comes his way now.
Yeah, he'd really fancy him for these now. The two down the bottom right are easy enough, really. They look like straightforward plants, and the one that's near the black goes into the middle once it's cleared out. I mean, he may have to do something just because he's going to have to kind of get out of that. Well, he's under it that quite a bit. I think he might just be okay. I'd imagine there he probably wanted to come a bit further, maybe play the plant, and then the plant into the middle, and then the plant into the corner,
Yeah.
and then screw out from the corner probably. But where he's landed, he's just not left himself many options. I think he can just make that plant into the bottom right. Did not want to catch that yellow. Only the slightest of flicks, but it made all the difference.
Yep. Now he's got a delicate little shot. I mean, he can still cut this yellow to bottom left, and maybe just go side rail and hold on the back of the black for the other red in the middle.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all he's got, I think.
Yeah, I think he's got to focus as much as he can on the box. It's so missable, the pawn.
Yeah, 100%.
Fairly natural into the black, really.
Yeah, it doesn't need to do too much. Doesn't really want to kick the black onto the side rail, but can't worry about that. He just needs to put 100% into the pot. Otherwise, this could be his last shot. No.
Oh.
No, he's rattled it. Now what's he left?
Yeah, they're certainly not gimmies, but they're definitely there.
It's awkward, isn't it? Because all four of these balls are kind of covering each other, and he's got no options to left the table. So I think pretty early doors he's going to be trying to look at an option to maybe skill shot one of the reds and pot that yellow. Do you think?
Or maybe just try and sort of open those balls up, pot a couple of them, so that you leave an angle to come off the back rail and knock that red out. And
Yeah,
come off two
yeah.
rails.
So a lot of work to be done.
Screw this in, you hope to land on the ball is hitting. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, just left enough angle. I think you can punch this in, come off. Well, you can either probably stun down table or just come off one cushion and probably down for the.
Yeah, you kind of want to be just below the black, really, don't you? From,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
where it is.
And,
Slow down a bit, maybe, right? Unless he's looking at the skill shot now. You know, it's definitely on. It's right over the pocket. It looks
Yeah,
pretty straight on
yeah.
it. He may think about it.
he's definitely looking at that now. If the top one goes, which I don't know if it does. I assume it goes.
Yeah, I'm fairly convinced it does. But
Surely isn't that quite a natural angle to go across and?
yeah, but then you're wondering where
Ju-
you might
judging
feel
the luck
that.
with the cue ball, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that's a great
He's
shot.
played it well. And he's actually, I mean, he can either get in behind this or he's probably left the angle to actually play into.
Yeah, yeah.
He's kind of got options now, really.
I think he's going to try and move it because
I was going to say, I don't know, a bit like what we talked about earlier on, you know, about the sort of big
backing
players.
yourself.
Yeah, backing yourself
yourself.
to get it. And I think he's
Yeah.
right. I don't think he's played the best of shots necessarily, but I think he's right to back himself. And
I only thought he might move it only because he's pretty much guaranteed to be on one of the one of the two reds to right corner. But I guess one of the reasons he probably hasn't is because the yellow's still over the left corner. So even if he knocks it out, he may just still tie it up with that and not have a shot. So he's backed himself to get this down the rail. Great shot.
yeah, love it.
And we did wonder if that shot by Declan Brennan was going to be his last shot in this match, and indeed on the winner's side. And looks for the world that it's going to be. Black goes into
Every pocket.
yeah, yeah.
Take your pick.
Any. Choose one of 6. Just looking again.
Just making absolutely sure with this one. Key shot.
Brilliant. So it's been a good performance. Probably not absolutely classic Scott Gillespie, but he's done the job he needed to do. He's got handed a few frames there from Declan.
Yes, yeah.
But, it's him that goes through to the winner's side. He cements his place in the last 16. Declan will have an appointment at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning in the losers qualification, and that concludes the action for this evening. It looks like the game in the other room is also concluded, so we'll just have a very quick look across to see what happened there. So Callum Singleton beat Lee Clough 8 frames to 6.
I'm guessing he cleared up off the break then, because
Yep.
it's too quick to be anything else.
Thanks very much everyone for joining us. I'm pretty sure that Lee Kendall is going to dive straight into the interview room, and we'll be talking to Scott Gillespie in just a couple of seconds. It's a thanks to me again, Matt. Always a pleasure commentating with you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again tomorrow sometime.
Yep.
Look forward to a great day of pool tomorrow. Again, thanks everyone for joining us. But from Beard Productions, from the comms box, we're going to hand over to Lee Kendall. Good night for now.
As I walked through then on the last frame, Lee Clough and Callum Singleton finished. That was a bit later starting. So yeah, we can shoot. Shoot down behind the fence and everything. But just be careful because it should be alright. We won't start the interview yet. It should be alright. You got it there. Right, we're with the winner, Scott. That was a late match and a long match, really.
Yeah, As you say, it's a late match. To be honest, I'm needing to work my fatigue because of how I struggled out there. One of my friends got me a red bill towards the end, and I did take away some nice finishes towards the end, but I was dead on my feet halfway during that game.
Yeah, I think when you get to this time of night, you just want to just get over the line. Don't
Yeah,
you?
I mean, obviously you can have some matches were nearly finished before I've even went on, and they've got the pleasure of knowing they're in the last 16 proper, and I've still to go on. But I mean, I knew I was queuing well, but as I said, I just kind of was dead on my feet a bit. But it's a good one. It's a good one there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're now in the last 16, and you're waiting to see who comes through.
He was a tough opponent. He's been playing well all weekend, and he just never seemed. You were always a couple ahead, and then he'd pull back within one, and then you go again, and you seem to know instinctively when to push the button. That clearance at 9-7 to go 10-7. That was a huge thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To go then 3 ahead, it was kind of killed off.
But to be honest, during the match, as I said earlier on, when I was struggling, I had good chances to go 3 ahead and maybe push on to go 4 ahead, but I just kept on missing that ball. But when he did get back to 1 behind, I somehow produced a breaking finish just to keep that two in front. So, but he missed a few bad shots, but always that's probably through maybe fatigue or tiredness with him as well. But as I say, I'm just delighted to be in the last 16 tomorrow.
Yeah. Probably not an absolute classic performance from you, but it's a win.
Not at all, but as I say, my first 3 matches, I mean, I've gone through a really hard section, and I take confidence for that because I played really well the other 3 matches.
So there's only been 2 winners of the event so far, yourself and Phil Harrison. Are you going to keep that up tomorrow?
I'll certainly try.
Balance it up, get 2 each.
2 each, yeah.
No, but I mean, get to bed, get some rest. Good luck tomorrow. I'm sure all the
thanks.
fans will be looking forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, cheers.
So that's it for tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow morning with the next stage. I mean, it'll be 9 o'clock for the first session. I'm not sure I'll be streaming. George, I'll be streaming the 9 o'clock. No, he's having a lion, I think. We'll be doing the 11 o'clock session, and that'll be the first ones we're going to do, and the draw will be done just before that. So we'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of the Supreme Pool Series.